And for me personally, I've seen a consistency from family to family, from region to region, service to service, and some of the emotions personally that I felt has been a mixture of shock, of sadness, a bit of anger, and to be quite honest, embarrassment at the way some of these families have been treated. Thanks, Simon. Good evening, everyone. We've got loads of fun and games coming up, but as you've just seen there, obviously there's a serious reason why we're all here tonight. And those of you that have been to one of these events over the past couple of years, you would have probably heard us talk about the huge gaps that we've identified in the support that's available to bereaved military families in the UK. And you've probably heard us talk about some of the plans that we have to try and fill those gaps, and also our frustrations at not being a bit further down the road and providing the level of support that's so dearly needed today. But then, having said that, I'm pretty excited about the future of this charity. I'm excited about the foundations we've laid over the past 12 months. I'm excited about the plans that we have for the next 12 months. And I'm still frustrated, but I've never been more optimistic about the impact that this charity is going to have over the next couple of years. We achieved one of our long-standing goals this year, which was to recruit our first head of support, someone dedicated to providing direct and instant help and advice to bereaved families. And in addition to that role, we've also been lucky enough to recruit the former lead member of Children's Services for Norfolk to the team, so just adding just more expertise to that team. And Bev and Stuart are both here today, but we've never been better placed to provide professional support to families. We've always been, and we always will be, conscious of keeping our core costs as low as possible. But we've also seen this year how investing in our people can also bring significant benefits, not just to our beneficiaries, but to the service we provide our supporters as well. And it's another reason why I'm so excited about the future of the charity. I've never worked within a team that are so collectively focused on a single and shared mission. So I'm upbeat about the future. I can see how over the last 9 years, all the work we've done has built us a really solid platform. But it feels like we're just taking that first proper step now, and it is the first of many steps. I stood here this time last year and I shared with you some pretty shocking statistics following some research that we conducted with the families, in particular about how the levels of support drop off significantly following the first year after a death in service. And more recently, we've been able to have conversations on a one-to-one basis or on a small group basis with families, and we've been hearing the stories behind those larger macro numbers. And for me personally, I've seen a consistency from family to family, from region to region, service to service, and some of the emotions personally that I felt, it's been a mixture of shock, of sadness, a bit of anger, and to be quite honest, embarrassment at the way some of these families have been treated. This document I have here, this is the Armed Forces Covenant. Now, a lot of you will be familiar with this document. Some of you won't. So it's effectively a promise that we as a nation make to our armed service personnel and their families that we will support them. And it's actually a really concise, to the point, single-page document. I'll read you the opening lines here. It says, "The Armed Forces Covenant, an enduring covenant between the people of the United Kingdom, Her Majesty's government, and all those who have served or who have served in the armed forces of the Crown and their families." And it goes on, there's 3 very brief paragraphs, and the first one of those is about the commitment that our armed forces service personnel and their families make to us, and hence why we're making this promise to them. Then there's a paragraph about who it is that's making that promise. So that's us as a society, that's you and I, that's businesses, that's government, that's charities. And then the final paragraph it's very concise, it's very to the point. It's literally only 2 sentences. And the second of those sentences says, "Special consideration is appropriate in some cases, especially for those who have given most, such as the injured and the bereaved." So this is a promise we've made as a nation, and it's very concise and very specific, and it specifically says that we're giving special consideration to the bereaved. Now, behind that, I've got another document, and this is a draft copy of the 2019 Armed Forces Covenant Annual Report. So this is a report that comes out every year that details all of the activities that have taken place over the past year that have gone towards fulfilling that promise that we've all made. Now, it is a draft, but in its current format, it's 66 pages long. There are 2 mentions of bereaved forces children in this whole document. In fact, there are 2 mentions of bereaved families, full stop. Now, I know it's a draft, and there will be more stuff that goes in, I'm sure, but I'm sure he'll also agree that in 66 pages, 2 mentions of bereaved forces children is not fulfilling that promise we've made. I think I can speak confidently about this because I've heard the stories direct from the families, and as a nation, we are failing these families, and if we don't step up, we will continue to fail them. These young British forces children and young people, their voice needs to be heard. The stories that I've heard and that the team hear on an almost daily basis, they need to be amplified. The rest of the country needs to understand the challenges that these young people are going through. And only then will we start to see documents like this change, and only then will we start to see the way that we support our bereaved armed forces families in the UK change. Now, next year marks the 10th anniversary of Scotty's Little Soldiers, and we're going all in. Right, so the foundations are laid. We've got some really exciting projects laid up, including some significant work we're hoping to roll out with local authorities. And you all have a part to play in that. So this is my call to action to you guys. Over the next 12 months, we're going all in. So whether you decide to fundraise, whether you get your business involved, the business that you work for, your friends, you buy your Fear Naught t-shirt and wear it with pride, you reshare the stories that we'll be sharing with you over the coming months. This is our time to change the way that these documents look and the way that we support our bereaved armed forces families. So I want to stand here this time next year, and I want to read out this document, and I want to tell you how many lines, not just how many lines, how many pages there are about the activity that's going on to support our bereaved armed forces families. So next year, we go all in. Next year is the year we really begin to help their children smile. I'd just like to thank you all for coming this evening. It really genuinely means the world to us. I hope you all have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stuart. As I say, I've been working with Stuart for the past couple of years as a trustee, and the commitment that he puts in is extraordinary. I won't embarrass him by telling you some of the stories, but if you come buy me a beer afterwards, and I'll tell you just what a good man he is.